A ship sinks in the dark. There are no cameras to film the chaos, no reporters to interview the survivors. There is only the story they told, if they lived to tell it. These are the shipwrecks they never filmed. Number 10. In the year 1120, the heir to the English throne prepared to sail home from France. The prince and his noble friends spent the night drinking, delaying their departure, and encouraging the crew to join them. In the dark and with a drunken helmsman, the fast ship struck a submerged rock just outside the harbor. Of the 300 people on board, only one man survived, a butcher who clung to the mast all night. Number 9. In 1545, King Henry VIII watched his favorite warship sail into battle against the French. The Mary Rose was a powerful, top-heavy ship, packed with over 400 soldiers and sailors for the fight. As she turned, a sudden gust of wind caught her sails. Water flooded through the open lower gun ports. The ship sank in minutes, trapping almost everyone below deck. Less than 40 men escaped the rapid disaster. Number 8. The year is 1628. Sweden's brand new warship, the Vasa, was the pride of the nation. She set off on her maiden voyage, sailing less than a mile from the dock as the king and public watched. A light breeze pushed the ship over. It was so unstable that it simply tipped and did not recover. Water rushed in, and the Vasa sank in the middle of Stockholm Harbor. A spectacular and very public failure. Number 7. In 1857, the SS Central America steamed towards New York, carrying a fortune in California gold. It sailed directly into a Category 2 hurricane. For 2 days, the crew and passengers fought the storm and rising water. The engines failed. The ship was helpless. As it sank, women and children were evacuated to a passing ship first. Over 400 people and 3 tons of gold went to the bottom, triggering a major financial panic back on land. Our number 6 spot takes us to New York City in 1904, a time of supposed modern safety. A church group, mostly women and children, chartered the boat for a picnic. A fire started in a storage room. The crew tried to fight it, but the fire hoses were rotten and fell apart in their hands. Panic spread. The life preservers were old and filled with cork dust. They absorbed water and dragged people under instead of helping. Over 1,000 people died in the fire or drowned in the East River. It was New York's deadliest disaster until 2001. Number 5. The American Civil War was over. In April 1865, thousands of Union prisoners were heading home. They boarded the steamboat Sultana. The captain was paid per head, so he packed over 2,000 men onto a boat built for less than 400. The ship had a faulty boiler, but the captain rushed the repairs, wanting his payout. In the middle of the night, it exploded. Hundreds were killed instantly. Others were thrown into the cold, dark Mississippi River, too weak to swim. An estimated 1,700 people died. It remains the deadliest maritime disaster in United States history. Coming in at number 4 is a story of shipwreck, followed by sheer human evil. The Dutch ship Batavia in 1629. The ship struck a coral reef off the coast of Australia and broke apart. Most of the 300 survivors made it to a small, barren island. While the commander sailed for help in a longboat, a junior officer started a mutiny among the remaining survivors. He and his followers took control of all the food and water, then began a reign of terror and murder. They eliminated anyone who was a threat or who they simply did not like. Over 100 people were murdered on the island. When the rescue ship returned, the mutineers were defeated in a short battle, and justice was brutally served on the spot. Number 3 is the true story that inspired the novel Moby Dick. In 1820, the whaleship Essex was hunting in the Pacific. An abnormally large sperm whale, 85 feet long, turned on the ship. It rammed the Essex head-on twice. The 20-man crew escaped in 3 small, poorly supplied whaleboats, watching their ship sink beneath the waves. They were thousands of miles from land, with almost no food or water. Their journey would last for 90 days. The men began to die of starvation and dehydration. To survive, the remaining crew were forced to resort to cannibalism. When the last boat was found, only 2 men were left alive, barely clinging to life, surrounded by the bones of their friends. Number 2 is not one shipwreck, but 2. The mystery of the Franklin expedition haunted the world for over a century. In 1845, Sir John Franklin led 129 men to find the Northwest Passage. They were never heard from again. We now know the ships became hopelessly trapped in ice. The men abandoned them and tried to walk south across the frozen wasteland. They were slowly defeated by starvation, scurvy, and lead poisoning from their poorly canned food. Local Inuit accounts told stories of desperate, starving men. Evidence found later confirmed their darkest tales: cannibalism. No one from the expedition survived. The wrecks of the 2 ships were finally discovered in 2014 and 2016. And our number 1 shipwreck they never filmed is a story so horrific it became one of history's most famous paintings. In 1816, the French frigate Medusa ran aground off the coast of modern Mauritania due to its incompetent captain. The ship had lifeboats, but there was not enough room for everyone. The captain and his officers took the boats for themselves. 150 other people were forced onto a makeshift raft with only a few casks of wine and some biscuits. The captain then ordered the tow rope cut, abandoning the raft and its passengers to their fate in the open ocean. What followed was 13 days of hell. Men were washed overboard. They fought, murdered each other, and ate the dead to survive. When a rescue ship finally found the raft, only 15 men were still alive. 5 of them died shortly after. The story shocked the public, becoming a symbol of corruption, incompetence, and the desperate, brutal will to survive. The ocean keeps its secrets, but sometimes the survivors bring them back to the surface. Their stories are all we have left. The drive to survive can push people to their absolute limits. We explored just how far in our video on history's most extreme survival stories.